Welcome to Be Continued, where your host, I'm Christian.
I'm Caleb.
And it's been a while. Just haven't seen you since last year. Pun intended. Sorry. But it's conference championship weekend. There's a lot to update you on. When it comes to the regular season records, Ezra won. I was in second. Ezra beat me out by 1 game. Caleb lost by 2 games. And Riley had I think he was 10, 11 games behind?
I don't know.
It was pretty far. Sorry, Riley. Wish you were here to defend yourself. But yeah, it's conference championship weekend. The Commanders are here, which is a big shock. But you know, when you have one of the best quarterbacks in football, this is where it brings you.
Oh, here we go.
I mean, let's get it started. So, Commanders Eagles Sunday, 3:00. Rams fan, I was really hoping to play you. I was praying for it. I really wanted to see the Rams, but the snow had to happen, I suppose. And
Yeah.
now I got to hear Eagles fans all week. Oh, our defense shut down Matt Stafford. Our defense this, our defense that. Even though in the first half, when there was no snow, the Rams were pretty effortlessly moving the football. But what do I know? Also, that Rams defensive line is dominant.
Did you see? I don't know when at some point today they said that Stafford played like most of the season with cracked ribs.
I am just now hearing that.
So I remember when you said I forget a while ago you were like, I think he's hurt because he's missing throws he doesn't usually miss.
I was right.
Cracked ribs.
Yeah, now that makes sense to me because there were some throws he would make and I was like, it doesn't look like Stafford.
You know what else is wild? Quinyon Mitchell hit Stafford so hard in those ribs that it knocked him out of the game, that it knocked Mitchell out of the game, and Stafford stayed in the game with cracked ribs to open the game. That's crazy. That dude is a monster.
Tough. But that's why when going into the game, I was questioning fans that were like, are we sure the Rams can handle the cold? Stafford played in Detroit for, 14, 12 years?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he was accustomed to the cold weather. But also the Rams, McVay had that team ready to play. I just wish McVay would be a little more aggressive. Because if you look at the NFL stats, the 4 teams left were all top 4 in fourth down efficiency and attempts. Now, granted, the Commanders were 14 points ahead of everybody else, but that's just because we go for it on fourth down more than anybody.
Yeah, well, something else they have is they all also have a quarterback that can move.
Yes.
And Stafford, he's not very fast anyway, and you don't really want him to move, especially with cracked ribs. If the Rams had executed, they would be one of the 4 left stand. They would be one of the 4 left stand.
Yeah, agreed.
Because even if you take away Kyron Williams fumbling, if you take away Stafford's fumble wasn't as big of a deal because that was on 3rd and long anyway, so they're going to turn the ball over, they're going to punt. But you also had some other just uncharacteristic drops. Cup was excellent. Puka dropped an easy first down. There was a 1st and 10, just a first down throw that would have been an easy 10 yards for Higbee that he dropped. And I think the Rams the weather affected the Rams because of the way they want to play. The Rams are a finesse. They want to be more technical than you. That's how they dominate. That's how they win. And the Eagles are not. They're the opposite. So I think that weather played perfectly in their hands. I'm not saying the Rams lost because of the weather, but I will say that I think the Eagles are lucky that they got that weather.
And then here's the other thing. So Eagles fans want to say how great their team is, how it's this, how it's that. Jalen Hurts has never won a playoff game in which he's thrown over 150 yards.
Yeah, and I don't like the way he looked.
No, he doesn't look good. He doesn't look good.
He doesn't look healthy.
No. And
so part of what makes Jalen Hurts – to me, what makes Jalen Hurts great is the same thing that makes Lamar Jackson great. If you have to be afraid of him running the ball, then it's just tough because he can run for 15 as easy as he can throw. And then, how do you defend that? There should always be somebody open because of that.
Yes.
I mean, he's not as fast as – but, similar.
He's powerful. That's why I call him the best fullback in football because – he's not going to run by you, but he's going to lower his shoulder.
But when you stick him in the pocket, just like when you stick Lamar Jackson, if Lamar Jackson has no threat of running, he's been very unsuccessful in his career.
Which is why in the postseason he's never successful because people are like, all right, we're just going to set a contain, and let's see what you do.
Yep, and the Ravens didn't give Henry the ball enough.
And then people want to say, well, the Rams' run defense sucked. The Rams' run defense that first series when Fisk was in there was really good. You took out their best interior run stopper.
So if you take out the 78-yard and the 60 whatever, which I mean obviously those are two massive runs. You can't just pretend they didn't happen. When you take those out, they held Saquon to 2.5 yards a carry. So for the most part, they did well. Like I pointed out on the 78-yarder, Cam Curl missed a big tackle, but before that, right in the hole, Jurgens has got his hand on Tyler Davis's name. He's holding his name, and like from behind. And here's what I think: like I'm not crying about holding calls because there's holding on every play in the NFL, is my opinion. But what I think is, if Fisk was in the game, you're not going to hold him like that.
No.
And I think that
Fisk
did
probably
make
would
a
have
huge
carried
difference.
Jurgens with him.
Yeah, and I think Fisk probably would have already been up in that hole anyway. But it is what it is.
But it also helps when you have. I mean, I think we can agree on this. Saquon has been pound for pound the best player in the playoffs.
He has, but he also
has a phenomenal offensive line in front.
Yeah, I mean, like he's running through massive holes, and he's just athletic enough that he's fast. Like he's a freak athlete. So once he's through those holes, you're not going to catch him. Mm-hmm. It's not like Kyren Williams, who, like on a very similar run to some of those ones that Saquon has, Saquon's gone. Kyren gets caught. And I think that's the difference you see between a good and a great running back.
So the question I wanted to ask you, the Rams are going into this offseason. I saw two suggestions for what they might do. Because let's say Stafford retires, or even let's say he stays. Would you rather them trade a 5th and a 6th to the Titans for Levis, or sign Zach Wilson as a free agent this offseason?
I trust McVay. Personally, I think I would maybe prefer Wilson because I think he can run a little better, right? Like he's a little quicker.
He can move.
I think I would love to see McVay with a quarterback that can throw and run, like the little glimpse we got of whatever's left of Carson Wentz. But I think I would like to see a mobile quarterback. But I do think Will Levis probably fits more of if you want a carbon copy of Matthew Stafford. Like, he's obviously not Stafford, but he's got the arm strength.
He's got the arm strength. Who Will Levis reminds me of is post-injury Carson Wentz. That's 2020 on. His decision-making, his movement, that's who I see. Now, that's why you get some of the dumbest plays in football, but that's who I see. I think McVay could coach it out of him.
Yeah, personally, I'd like to see. Between those two, I think I'd rather see Zach Wilson.
I would, too. I think Zach Wilson has one of the highest ceilings in football. The throws he can make are just second to none. He's young.
Yeah, and it seems like however much longer Stafford plays, just seems like it's not going to be that much longer. Like, I think the Rams might get 2-3 at most out of him.
So I think this is the offseason they go, because you guys have some cap this year, right? I think you got
40. I think they've got 46 if they don't cut anybody.
Well, I think I was they're probably going to make a couple adjustments, which put them to $60 million. And nobody really knows the cap. The cap could jump up like 30 again, like last year, and you guys could have like 90.
Yeah, and they could cut Jonah Jackson, who was a wasted offseason signing. I hope they don't. I feel like they're gonna get rid of Kupp, but I don't want them to do it. Like I don't. So it'll save them $7.5 million. You're not gonna replace Cooper Kupp with $7.5 million. That's my opinion. Like I'd hold him.
There's actually a guy on your roster I really like. He played in 18. I can't think of his name. It's the rookie. He blew up preseason in Week 18. He was phenomenal.
Whittington.
Yes.
Whittington. Yeah.
I think he could be good.
Yeah, I agree. I just want. I don't want them to make any additions at wide receiver. I want them to just hold it. Stay exactly where you are.
Also, maybe it's just me.
Unless you're grabbing T. Higgins, then okay, go for it.
Maybe I'm not a Rams watcher every week, but to me, I thought Higbee looked better this year than he did last year. Post injury, he looked better this year.
He looked awesome
last year. Like last year, didn't he go like 15 weeks without a touchdown?
Yeah, well, I think it also I think they wanted to emphasize the tight end a little bit more, and all of a sudden oh hey, this guy. When they drafted him, they were like, this guy is physically comparable to Gronkowski, which is obviously ridiculous, but at the same time, he's like a receiver in the tight end body, and he's just never really had long stretches of being great.
I think it's also because McVay doesn't use that comes in with the finesse. McVay likes people that are speed, and Higbee's not really more of a speed.
Like drafting or signing Parkinson for $8 million.
Hey, he scored.
He did.
He
did.
He scored.
Their only touchdowns were by their tight ends.
That is weird to see.
Higbee and Parkinson, which was interesting.
But all right, there's our Rams recap. Now let's get to these championship games.
Okay.
So first we have this Eagles-Commanders game. Who do you give the edge to?
You'll notice I'm wearing close as I have to Commanders colors. It's not because I'm jumping on the bandwagon.
There's room.
I mean, I'm not yet. But I do think, I'm willing to admit Jalen Daniels is legit. Jaden Daniels, whatever. He's legit. I'm not calling him a superstar yet. To me, before I can say you're a superstar, you need to be good for like 2+ years.
Okay, that's
like you're not a superstar. Like he's definitely on the superstar track. But I think if the Commanders win, I think they might be the least talented team to ever be in the Super Bowl. I'm sure there's been one worse, but like the least talented that I can remember. But they just seem like they're the team of destiny. Like this team could have easily won 6 or 7 games. And if the teams they were playing had just made the right plays or like routine things happened.
Well, a lot of these games, it's because we get to the end of the games, and it's you're just now seeing it because you weren't watching Commanders games every week. Like you would see these numbers, and you're like, oh, Jay Daniels isn't this good. I mean, look at how close the games were. That's why sometimes you go, oh, Marcus Mariota's a better quarterback. And the playoffs, you're finally going, oh, okay, that doesn't look like a rookie.
Now, I will say when Marcus Mariota came in, it looked exactly like Jaden Daniels.
But
System player.
Marcus Mariota
Cliff Kingsbury
was a first-round pick for a reason.
True.
And
Did he win a Heisman?
He did.
Yeah, I thought so.
And he was also the second overall pick.
Yeah.
But the reason that makes this team special, it's only for one guy, Jaden. And the reason is, you can watch him play. You don't know if we're playing in the preseason or postseason. It looks the exact same. Everything about it, he's just so nonchalant, but everything he does with confidence.
It's like one of those ace pitchers that just like has no pulse. Like
yes.
It doesn't bother him the bigger the moment.
And this is, everyone keeps wondering, is it the best rookie season we've ever seen? Absolutely. And the reason is, so every quarterback that ever reached the championship game as a rookie, they all had a top 3 defense in scoring defense or total defense. Jaden Daniels' total defense, 18th. Scoring defense, 28th. This team was not brought here by defense. He just went to Detroit and put up 45 points. Before last week, nobody thought that could happen. There were people that were like, maybe, but they weren't sure. After he goes and does it, everyone's like, oh, well, the injury's on their defense. The injury's on their defense. All road playoff teams this postseason are 0-8. Unless you're the Washington Commanders, you're 2-0. It's crazy what a good quarterback can do to your system. Now, I agree. Before I usually crown a quarterback, I want to see 2+ years of them being a very good starter. The thing that makes me wonder, or the thing that makes me already put Jaden at number 5, I have him in my top 5. It goes Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Jackson, Daniels. And let's say Jaden Daniels wins the Super Bowl this year. I don't think he will, but let's say he does. I'm moving him above Lamar.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going that far.
I mean, who's better? Who would you put in the top 5 over him?
Stafford.
Now?
Stafford.
Right now.
Stafford. If you flipped Jaden Daniels and have the Rams play the Lions, the Commanders play the Eagles in the snow. He already beat the Eagles. In the snow.
Oh, we can beat them in the snow.
But who do you like? Do you think the Rams could also win that game?
Yeah,
I do.
I thought that. So that I knew you guys would be able to beat them. I just think you got. But let's say they switch teams. Do you think Matthew Stafford's winning 14 games, including postseason, with the Commanders?
No, not with that offensive line.
Do you think Jaden Daniels is getting the Rams at the playoffs?
No. Maybe do the playoffs, but I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he would do as well as Stafford.
See, I disagree just because he can move. The thing that is so dangerous about Jaden Daniels, every play he makes the right play. And he does something I've never seen. So you know how most players, they have a weakness of the year and then they wait till the next year to fix that weakness? His is a week-to-week thing. Like week 1, he would automatically just go and run. And 2 weeks later, he was scrolling around looking to throw on the run. All right, what was next? The blitz. People were blitzing him. He was struggling. Now he's the best quarterback against the blitz in football.
He also has some pretty legit weapons. I hope you're willing to admit that.
One? Terry. Who else?
Diami Brown has been a monster the whole playoffs.
Diami Brown's been amazing, but he also had that key drop in the divisional round.
And also, probably the most consistent tight end this side of Travis Kelce.
Ertz is good. He's not the most consistent.
Whenever he needs a big play,
he goes to Zach Ertz.
Zach Ertz gets him the first down or the touchdown.
Gets open. He's zone.
Yeah, and he doesn't drop the ball.
So, but let's be honest. Out of all the 4 quarterbacks remaining right now, who has the worst supporting cast?
Josh Allen. Terry McLaurin's better than anyone Josh Allen is throwing to.
Okay, who has the top 2 offensive line remaining?
Top 2 offensive line.
It's the Bills.
The
and
Eagles.
The Eagles.
I mean, but that's kind of the Bills by default for that second. I wouldn't put the Bills offensive line up with the Eagles.
You haven't been watching.
I think the Eagles offensive line is here,
And the Bills
and
are
everyone else is here.
Yeah.
Like there's a gap.
But it goes for the offensive lines. It goes Eagles, Bills, Chiefs, Commanders. The Commanders are doing this.
I would put Chiefs Commanders here.
Whoa.
Nah, the Chiefs offensive
2
line
of the
is not
starters
good.
on the Commanders were backups for the Chiefs 2 years
Chiefs
ago.
offensive line is not good. That was when Orlando Brown was still on the Chiefs.
They were still good.
Yeah, because Orlando Brown was good. Now he's gone.
But also, see, I got upset because Get Up, they had a segment. Who's playing the best quarterbacking in the playoffs? Which we can agree, the best quarterback by play, I'm not saying he's the best quarterback, but he's been playing the best in these playoffs, is Jaden Daniels. Who's been playing better this postseason than Jaden Daniels? Nobody.
I mean, yeah, statistically, I guess you'd say Jaden Daniels.
And then, but what got me upset was Alex Smith then went, well, Pat Mahomes doesn't have the talent around him that Jaden Daniels does. Excuse me? What? And what Jaden Daniels doesn't have that the other 3 teams do is a good defense.
So Pat Mahomes, I think what he has going for him is he has the best coach.
Yes.
In Andy Reid. But I do feel like everybody he's throwing to is on like the back 9 of their career. Like he's not throwing to anyone in their prime other than Worthy, who's like not in there yet. Like Smith-Schuster's not what he was. Hopkins is not what he was. Kelsey's not what he was. Kareem Hunt's not what he was. Pacheco is good, but like I'd put Pacheco, he'd be closer to the Kyron Williams tier, definitely than the Saquon tier.
Agreed.
I mean, I'd probably put him lower than Kyron, even.
So I'm not saying Mahomes has like amazing weapons, but I'm saying let's add his defense in. Those weapons, the only weapon that Jaden Daniels has on his offense that would start in Kansas City is Terry McLaurin. He is the only one that would start.
Maybe Austin Eckler. Of course, Eckler's not really he's not even a
starting
guy, but
he's a third down guy.
He'd play a big part.
He would. He's been amazing this playoffs. But I'm interested to see how this matchup goes for a third time. Because now I got to hear Eagles fans say, oh, well, Jaden Daniels hasn't won in the cold. Even the last time he beat the Eagles, it was 30 degrees outside. But what do I know?
Yeah. So anyway, my pick. I never even gave my pick.
Well, we were given the edge. So
yeah, I'm picking the Commanders just because I don't think Jalen Hurts is healthy. And I think that the snow and whatnot, just the conditions kind of bailed the Eagles out last week. And I don't think the Eagles are going to be taking the Commanders as seriously as they need to. And I just think that the Commanders seem to be the team of destiny until they aren't.
Also, let's not forget.
I'm picking them.
After that game, I want to know what they gave Jalen Hurts to play in that game. He was out of his mind after that game. Rain, sleet, or snow, the Eagles are trained to go. His eyes, he was somewhere else and it wasn't Earth. It wasn't in Lincoln Financial Field.
Yeah.
He doesn't even remember the game. But my pick. Look, I'd love to pick the Commanders, and I give us a good shot. I think we can do it. The thing that gives me worry is our best offensive lineman, Sam Cosmi, tore his ACL. He was the one that was always put on Jalen Carter patrol. Jalen Carter has been the best defensive lineman in this playoffs. Now, some people are on TV saying he's better than Aaron Donald. I don't know why they would even spew that nonsense. He's good. He's not Aaron Donald.
You know the difference? Because Jalen Carter did make the monster play at the end of the game when he was basically unblocked.
Yes, twice.
The Rams erased Jalen Carter for most of that game with double teams, but he was a non-factor until the end. When it mattered the most, I'll give him his prop. Like, he came through when they needed it the most, but it was also him taking advantage of somebody that didn't know what he was doing and like made the wrong play. So,
I mean,
back that truck up, the Aaron Donald truck. Let's stop that. Like, I mean, yeah, he's legit. I wouldn't put him at Chris Jones level.
Not yet. And the other thing is, when my kids ever ask me, Dad, how good was Aaron Donald? I'm just going to pull up the clip of when the Eagles had not one, or was it the Cowboys? With the Cowboys, Eagles had not one, not two, but 3 or 4 blockers on them. and he pushed them all out of the way.
Yeah.
Like, pushed them down like pins at a bowling alley. But I just don't see how we're going to be able to stop Saquon. We did it last time. It's going to come down to me if Hurts is healthy.
I think Washington has got the linebackers that if you don't really have to worry about Hurts throwing it, and if he can't run, I don't think you have to worry about him throwing that much.
So I wanted to ask you one more thing about that Detroit game. That Jared Goff hit after he threw the pick six, was that a dirty hit or not a dirty hit?
A little dirty. And I think that is the reason for everything else that Goff, I think that's the reason Goff was bad for the rest of the game. Because we've seen that before. Remember, I've talked about this. Remember that Chiefs game when it was like the best game of all time?
Yes.
When they were just like scoring, throwing, everything was perfect on both offenses? Jared Goff took a cheap shot in that game, and he was never the same after that, in my eyes. And I think that kind of happened to him, like, in a quick moment right there.
So to me, the reason I don't view it as dirty is he was trying to make a tackle. He was in the way, block. But so I'm going to pick the Eagles to win. I think the Eagles are going to win this game. I hope I'm wrong because if the Commanders win, I'm letting you know now. Those Eagles fans will not hear it. Like, let's say we win the Super Bowl. I won't even talk trash. I'm just going to grin. Just going to grin. But let's get to the next game.
All right, let's finish this later.
All right. So we're back. Sorry we had to take a little hiatus. But we just got done talking about the Eagles-Commanders game. I picked the Eagles. He went with the Commanders. But let's get to the
Hail to the Commanders.
There we are. HTTC. Raise hail. It's the hashtag.
Never mind. I picked the Eagles now.
But let's talk about the Chiefs-Bills. And I'll be taking Riley's side of the argument here. And I'm going to be doing it the successful way, unlike how he texted it in the group chat. So, Caleb, I'll let you start off. Why do the Chiefs have the edge? And,
Not much argument here. The Chiefs have the best player in the NFL, possibly the best quarterback in the history of the NFL, even though I am starting to lean towards Tom Brady now that I've listened to him talk. I feel like it validates some of the things that I was invalidating. Like, I was counting it against him because his team cheated. But, like, when you listen to him and, like, the way he describes football is different than everybody else. And it kind of just makes me think of, like, oh, that's why he's so different as a quarterback, too. Because he just sees everything different. He's on another level. So, the Chiefs have that dude. They got Pat Mahomes. And they've been winning ugly, but they've been winning. Have they gotten some help from the fellas in the black and white shirts? Sure. They have gotten a bit.
A bit.
However, I still think if they didn't get that help, they still would have won anyway. The guys in the black and white shirts did not make the Texans miss field goals, get their field goals blocked, miss extra points.
Give up big kickoff returns.
The Chiefs have been able the last couple of years to just play as good as they need to. And I think they're just going to keep doing that. I don't think the Commanders have a chance against them if the Commanders make it through. I think they've got no shot.
I think we have more of a shot than the Eagles do, just because the way the Commanders want to play is the same way the Chiefs want to play. Gritty, tough, and down to the wire. And
I think
it's going to come down to who has the ball last.
And I think the Eagles, I trust Spagnuolo to find a way to stop Saquon. And so if Spagnuolo finds a way to stop Saquon, I don't think Jalen Hurts is healthy enough, and I question if he's good enough to beat a team on his own without the running game.
Agreed.
So I think the Chiefs are going to win. I think they're going to beat the Bills. I wouldn't be shocked to see the Bills win. Josh Allen is legit. He's a stud. I think he should win the MVP this year. If they give it to Lamar Jackson, it's a joke. I think Allen should win. I could see Buffalo like winning this game and then being like, okay, that was our Super Bowl, and having a huge letdown next week or at the Super Bowl. I could see that happening. But I think it's going to be a good game, just like last time. I don't think it's going to be like 42-35. It'd be cool if it was. As we've established, that's the type of football I enjoy watching.
Yes.
But I don't think it's going to be like that. And I just think the Chiefs keep winning ugly, but they keep winning. So till they lose, I'm going to keep riding with them.
So I have to agree with you there. I always get mad at people who are like, they're winning ugly. I'd much rather win ugly than lose pretty.
Yeah.
Losing is losing. while I agree with you, the refs aren't the main reason the Chiefs won that game. I wouldn't even put them in the top 3. There is a slight issue going on with these officials. So here's a weird thing. In the last 4 years, Chiefs have played 11 playoff games. 0 games has the opposing team had more penalties than the Chiefs. In 10 of the 11 games, the Chiefs had more penalties or less penalties than the team they've played.
Part of that's coaching, part of that's experience. Like, you're not doing dumb things.
Even the best of teams, though, will have at least one game where they're out penalized.
So think about, though, like, were the calls wrong on Saturday? Yes. Like
The first one
the
was
Anderson
wrong.
one was bad. That was, like, absolutely not a foul. But since they're not reviewable, when you see 2 guys collide up top and one head snaps back, you're going to call that just like based on what you see. And the other thing, with the other one, the 2 guys dove in with the crowns of their helmet down. That's something that the NFL has been trying to get rid of for years. And so when you see that, it's automatic. Should it have been a foul? No, because they didn't hit him in the head. But it looked bad. They went with the crowns of their helmet, and they got called. Like, you don't want that to happen? Don't lead with the crown of your helmet. Pretty simple.
To me, yes, was the crown of the helmet's bad. What I'm interested to see is how the NFL is going to get rid of what Pat keeps doing. He's finding that loophole where he keeps bringing them into penalties. Like, he'll go on the sideline, he'll get more ups just so he can lean you in to push him and get 15 more, and then he's doing that late slide. And I'm just wondering what the league's going to be able to do because you want the quarterbacks to keep playing, but that's also unfair to the defense.
I'd say there's nothing you can do about the sideline one. But the other, like, if you're in the middle of the field, that's different. If you do that in the middle of the field, I feel like you just get what you deserve.
You know what I'd tell a player? If I was like a coach, I'd take one of my – I'd just find a goon. Find a player that just doesn't need to play but can hit. Yeah. And I'd tell him one time Mahomes goes down the sideline like that, just light him up.
Yeah.
Don't care about
the one good time.
We'll pay for the fines. Just have fun.
Like Homeboy did in the Pro Bowl. Was it Sean Taylor?
Sean Taylor.
In the Pro Bowl.
To the punter? That poor punter.
I bet you do that to him one good time, though. He'll quit doing it.
He would.
He'll get 15 yards, but he'll pay for it.
He'll look like Jared Goff afterwards. So I hate to say it, but the odds of it being 42 to 35 at the end of this game is probably slim to none because since that game has been played, these 2 teams are completely different. Back when that game was played, Bills relied solely on Josh Allen's arm, and the Chiefs were mostly all offense, no defense. Now both teams are led by Bills, a questionable defense, but always seem to play good versus Mahomes, and their run game is what got them here. Like Josh Allen just won a playoff game with 127 yards.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you let Eagle fans talk to you, they're like, whoa, he threw 127 yards. Hurts threw 128. Yeah, stats might say that, but if you look at the games, Josh Allen made the plays when he needed to. But I give the edge to Mahomes just because you know who Sean McDermott to me is? He's the Doc Rivers of the NFL. He's a decent coach, but he needs the most star-studded roster in football to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I just don't see him ever winning with Josh Allen, which is why I'm kind of sad the Bills got to the conference championship because it's going to give him another year, and I don't think he really needs it. Andy Reid's going to get. So when you were talking about the GOAT debate, saying you're starting to give it to Brady, Mahomes' only shot at getting to the GOAT is he has to win this year. This is the most important year for him because he can finally say, hey, I did something Brady never did. I won 3 Super Bowls.
Well, I feel like if he wins this one, he's like almost got it already.
He's got that. That's what I'm saying. If he wins it this he's the GOAT. Like this is his chance. Because if he doesn't win it this year, he's right back to where he was already at before. Hey, you got a 2-peat. Brady's done that twice. Brady did that.
But if he loses, he's 29. He could have 15 more years of football left, like realistically.
Yeah, but you never know when your window's going to end.
True.
Never. And the thing is, remember, Brady and Belichick had a span there where they didn't win a playoff game for 4 years. Like, they went 18-0. They didn't win another playoff game until 2011.
But you're also talking about somebody that's a superior athlete to Brady as well. Like, Brady was legit, and he willed himself to be great.
Yes.
Patrick Mahomes physically is much more gifted than Brady ever was.
And the other thing is, Mahomes' biggest competition quarterback-wise in that conference is on an incompetent team. Because, let's be honest, out of every AFC quarterback not named Mahomes, the one you would have the most trust in winning you a game plays in Cincinnati. because he's not like Jaden where he doesn't get overwhelmed in any big situation. Josh Allen, don't get me wrong, he's a fun player to watch. He's a really good player, but to me, he's white Cam Newton. There's a ceiling there.
Well, I feel like you got to lump Allen in with kind of with Lamar and with even with Jalen Hurts to an extent. Like I think he's better than Jalen Hurts, but I think Lamar is better than Jalen Hurts. But I think they're kind of all in that same category because they're lethal in the regular season with their legs.
Yes.
And in the postseason, when teams like kind of it seems I don't know if it's that teams don't try to use their legs or if they just take them away. And if they're that good at taking
Lamar
them away.
and Jalen, their problem is when they get to the playoffs, for some reason, when they're drop back passing, they're like, we got to prove to the world we can throw.
Yeah.
And it's like, just play your game. And Lamar and Jalen get way in their heads about that, which is kind of sad to see.
Yeah.
But when it's designed, they usually do good.
Yeah. I mean, who cares how you win?
Agreed.
Win. If you run for 300 yards, you are the winning quarterback.
So I lump Josh Allen, I'm not saying player-wise, I'm saying skill set-wise in the same way I would look at Jaden. And it's not. I'm not saying they're the same player, but like Lamar and Jalen are in this, they're running guys who just so happen can throw a little bit.
Yeah.
While I would say Josh Allen and Jaden are pocket passers who just so happen can run, which is why they're both much more lethal in the playoffs than these two. Because the thing that gives these two the advantage, and I don't know if Jaden's going to be like this in the future, but at this point I'd say he probably will be. What makes them so lethal is you blitz them, they're going to be able to beat you with their legs and their arm. These two, you get after them, they just can't throw. Like Lamar, he can throw a pretty ball when he like with guys wide open. But when's the last time you saw Jalen Hurts or Lamar throw a guy open?
You mean like that De'Ami Brown that ball caught him?
He was on his back foot. He was on his back foot.
That guy couldn't even see, and the ball just like literally hit him in the breadbasket. Like he couldn't miss that.
Was that the moment you
that
went?
Was impressive.
Was that the moment you went? Christian might be on to something with this.
That was nice. I still don't think he beat anybody good, but that Detroit Lions defense was sorry.
All right, so
it was sorry.
What do you think about the Buccaneers win?
Sorry, whole team's sorry. The whole South is terrible.
I agree, but
so I respect nothing out of the South.
He won them on the road, though. Like you got to say, going in.
No, that team is a joke.
A joke.
A joke.
How come nobody else won a pro?
The only good player on that team that's like a legit player is Mike Evans. Everybody else is just
Bo Nix, Jaden Nails. Who you
got? Long-term Bo Nix. Got to trust his coach better.
Bo Nix is the second best rookie quarterback in his conference.
I trust Sean Payton more than I trust Dan Quinn. And what's interesting to me and crazy is that nobody wants Cliff Kingsbury.
Cliff doesn't want a job. Okay, I think there's a rule that has to be implemented. If you're on a playoff team that's competing in playoffs, your coordinators cannot interview for a job until your season's over. Like, I think that's what kind of got to the Lions last week as well. Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson had like 6 interviews that week. And every interview you have goes for 3 to 5 hours.
Yeah.
Which is taking away game plan. Like, Cliff Kingsbury and Joe Witt Jr., our coordinators, said, hey, we're not interviewing this week.
Yeah.
If we win this week, okay, you can interview during this bye week a little bit, but
yeah, if I was a guy with a team with a young quarterback or was looking for a young quarterback, Cliff Kingsbury would be my first call.
So Cliff to me is one of those guys. He's a great coordinator, not the head coach type. Because Cliff Kingsbury is a player. He likes to be buddy with his players. He's not the kind of guy that can get like that's what got him beat in Arizona. Like his team would.
Now what got him beat in Arizona was Kyler Murray.
Okay,
he's a scrub.
We gotta have some talks about Kyler.
Scrub.
Like so you remember
I'd trade him.
Remember how before this year you were all against Cliff Kingsbury because you were like, second half always. But now you're like,
Kyler Murray.
Kyler.
However, Kingsbury's always been a very mediocre head coach. So it might just be like he's the bridesmaid, not the bride.
He doesn't want to be head coach. So he said it would take a lot to get him away from Jaden. Because what's also helping him here is, he's the offense coordinator. He'd love to be head coach down the road. He's still getting paid from Arizona. And that contract doesn't go up till 2027. But back to what I was getting ready to say, Bo Nix isn't even going to be the best quarterback out of his draft class in that conference. Drake and Josh about to have some fun. Drake May, Josh McDaniels, Mike Vrabel, Patriots.
Is Josh McDaniels with the Patriots?
They just hired him as the offense coordinator.
That's interesting.
I like that hire.
Yeah. I think. Yeah, I don't know.
Ben,
I'm not impressed with anything going on with the Patriots.
all right, but back to the game.
You need an offensive coach with a young quarterback. I've always said that. Commanders are proving me wrong, but they've got a legit.
You've got to have a legit offensive
guy.
mind.
I don't think
I think McDaniels is, because remember what he did with Mac Jones.
McDaniels is like a high floor, low ceiling guy.
Yes.
Like he's gonna give you and maybe that's perfect for Mike Vrabel.
It is.
Because he's gonna have a great defense. He's gonna have your quarterback be competent, but not great.
Yes. And just, I will say, if he uses that Cam Newton game plan, because if Cam was MVP level Cam, which I think Drake May can, I'm not saying he's MVP Cam, but let's say athleticism, accuracy wise, I think Drake May could.
Drake May is the second best QB on his team.
He's getting ready to get traded. Would you want the Rams trade for Milton?
Yes, absolutely. Rocket arm, can run. Oh yeah.
So you picked the Chiefs to win, right? What was your score?
I don't know. I think it's gonna be close.
I think it's gonna be low. I think it's gonna be close and low.
Maybe like 24-17.
See, I think the Chiefs are good.
24-21 maybe. Harrison Butker comes through.
See, the one thing that you got to think Josh Allen's going to get over this hump at some point, right?
Yeah.
See, what's also going to hurt is when and if the Chiefs get to the Super Bowl, and if they have to play the Commanders, it's going to hurt for me a little bit.
Yeah. I hope the Chiefs win and they don't get like a single flag called for them. Like, I want them to win in such a way that everybody that's like, oh, the referee's got him here, like, referee. And, like, all the pictures are, like, Mahomes making out with the refs. Like, yeah, we get it. You're hilarious. He's still the dude. And if you're doing that, you never watched the New England Patriots.
They were getting calls.
With Tom Brady.
Just the same
Come
way.
on, guys.
See, but that's my other argument. Like, the dynasties always get the calls, and people don't like to hear that. But when you're a good team, good things happen.
Yes.
Like, the thing I never liked to hear as a team was, oh, your win was lucky. If you prepare right, if you do what you're supposed to, there is no such thing as luck. You win. And the other thing, I wanted to talk about this during the Commanders-Eagles preview. The team that this Commanders team reminds me of, I'm not saying talent-wise because I don't think they're really close, but coming out of nowhere, there's two teams that they remind me of. One's the 2021 Bengals, where preseason nobody was expecting anything. They came in, they got to the Super Bowl, they lost. And the other one's the 99 Rams. Because nobody thought Kurt Warner was going to come in and get to a Super Bowl and win.
Yeah.
The only difference is that Rams team had offensive talent everywhere.
I would say more of those. What did the Rams finish McVay's first year there?
11-5.
Yeah, I feel like I'd say they remind me more of that team. Because, like, McVay took over this bad Rams team, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, these guys are legit.
Yeah, but when you watch that Rams team, it was never, like, I remember watching that 2017. It was never, oh, Goff is the reason they're winning games.
No, but it was like, oh, Goff is good.
It was Goff was good, but...
And we thought, like, Goff was trash coming in.
Yeah, and Todd Gurley was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
But the reason I say that Rams team from 98 or 99 was it just seemed everything that could go right would go right. And the defense wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible. And you had a great run game.
Yeah, but that ain't the greatest show on turf, man.
You guys, I mean, it was your first year of the greatest.
That's the greatest show on turf.
I mean, there was some numbers.
Should be 2 Hall of Fame.
Okay, you want to hear an insane stat? Jaden Daniels has more playoff wins this postseason than he does sacks and turnovers combined.
That's going to change on Sunday. Change my pick.
He's only had one punt. We've only punted the ball once this entire.
What has amazed me about Jaden Daniels in the postseason, what I've watched, is there's a lot of times where it looks like he should be like about to get smoked, and he doesn't. And
he doesn't get hit.
What I want to see is how long does that last, and when he does finally get hit, what happens next?
You saw it.
Yeah, but like
Tampa game.
He got hit one time, like off on the sideline, but like.
So here's my point. Ready? There's been two teams that have this whole season the fan bases were like, oh, if he goes against us, he's going to get killed. Rams and Eagles. Both of those teams, when we played them, one of the quarterbacks went to the blue tent. It wasn't our guy. Hurts got hurt versus us, and Goff got hurt versus us. Jaden, the thing that
you said Rams.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I
meant Lions. But when you watch him play, it's just the way he's so smart. He knows when to get down and he knows how to get it. But the other thing that's weird is the reason he's so small and he doesn't get hurt is usually those really small guys are really nimble and flexible. Like that's what you saw in that Falcons game. Remember when his leg got bent back?
Yeah.
But he was okay because he's a very durable player that way. Also, I got to be honest. I think we have the football gods on our side. The organization had 28 years of Dan Snyder. There's a black cloud over the organization.
So you're saying it's rigged?
It could be. And you know what's weird? So here, I was going to bring this up. Last year, the first day of Super Bowl 58, Adam Schefter tweeted out, Chiefs and Commanders have arrived for Super Bowl 58. He deleted the tweet and said, sorry, it got two things intertwined with Adam Peters getting hired by the Commanders, or Dan Quinn getting hired by the Commanders.
Script leaked early. It's a full year ahead. Interesting.
Rookie quarterbacks never won a Super Bowl. But you got to think, so best rookie season in sports history. There's only one that I can think. If he wins a Super Bowl, a championship, there's one that this reminds me of, and it's an owner of the team. Magic. Magic won his championship his rookie year. Is Jaden Daniels the Magic Johnson of football? We'll find out. But the Bills will win on Sunday. Chiefs will too. We all win because there's good football.
Yeah, I was a hater early in the season. I just didn't enjoy it. Now I've been enjoying football lately, and now it's going to be gone.
See, I was getting ready to ask.
We finally got some good games. I think what it is that I don't like is I don't like bad football, which is why I don't like college football anymore.
Yes.
I can't stand college football.
Did you watch championship game?
No,
I didn't either.
I watched about 5 minutes of it.
I didn't even turn it on.
I turned it on. Notre Dame had the long scoring drive. I didn't watch any of it. And Ohio State just walked down the field with no resistance. I'm like, they're going to get smoked.
I didn't watch it. I was not interested. And the thing, I think what they need to do for college football, push it back. Start their season in early August. Because what happened, they got swallowed by the NFL playoffs.
And they also got swallowed by the transfer portal.
That too. They got to get rid of it.
Because you can't connect the players anymore. If you are rooting for a college team, you're rooting for the college. And it's got nothing to do with the players. And to me, that's not a good spot for your sport to be.
I mean, I'll be rooting for Texas next year, but that's only strictly for Arch. Man.
Yeah. And I think it's just you can't build a program when the guys that you're putting time in building up are leaving constantly.
College football is starting to get to college basketball levels with that.
Yeah.
To me, I think what they need
just instead of going pro, they're going to another school.
So I think the rule they need to do is if you sign an NIL deal with the school, you got to stay for the duration of the NIL deal.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So if you sign a 3-year deal with the college, you got to stay for 3 years. Yeah. Unless they buy you out and they say, okay, you can go.
Yeah.
If not, you can't leave.
Yeah. I just...
I'll tell you what. So I was going to ask you, I was like, hey, early in the year, you were really against football because I think it was the product wasn't great. Because you like a lot of offense.
Yeah, I just like good football.
To me... And I guess to me, I really never didn't dislike the season this year, but that's also because every Commanders game comes down to the wire. Unless we were playing a bad team, we just kill them. You guys got really hot there at the end, and also if you guys would have came back on the Eagles, down 15 in 4 minutes, and won that game.
And they had it too, but that Bo Limmer
didn't
even make a block, and Dotson on the
that made
back-to-back plays was brutal.
Also, Kyron Williams has got to fix that run. So, I have a new prediction of who I think the Rams are going to pick. First round.
Gentry?
Judkins.
Who's that?
The running back from Ohio State. They say he's a Jahmyr Gibbs carbon copy.
I could see it. Carbon copy?
Carbon, there we go. I couldn't think of words.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, I mean, you can't. They won it, and I was interested. It was interesting to me that they had no interest in Saquon at all. I get that he didn't want to come to them, but for them to not have interest was weird because they were so interested in McCaffrey. They were willing to give up a lot for McCaffrey.
So the reason I think they didn't want Saquon is a great running back. The thing that makes me worry about Saquon's longevity, he's not great as a receiving back. Think of it. The Eagles that's also. So after I finish Saquon, I'll get to the next one about the Eagles. But when it comes to Saquon, he's never been a great catcher. His rookie year, he had 93 catches, 800 yards. You're like, oh, he's about to go off for it. He hasn't had a season with over 50 receptions since. And he struggles with drops. But now the point I wanted to get to the Eagles was there's a reason I actually like the Commanders' odds a little bit, and that's if the Eagles blow you out, that's when the Eagles are at their best. they suck in close games. Like close games, they get really tight. It's not like because they're bullies. They're used to bullying you. If you out bully the bully, they don't like that. Like that's why the Commanders have always had a good history with playing the Eagles because, let's be honest, out of all the teams in the division, Philadelphia's the place we love to play. Because once you score a touchdown, the fans will start booing their own team.
Well, Jared Verse was having fun.
Dude, he was dominant too.
Stud.
Rookie of the year.
Defense rookie, he is. Got
I've been saying it since Mitchell is the most overrated corner in football.
Yeah.
He's not don't get me wrong, he's not bad, but he's not this all-time great Darrelle Revis type.
No.
He's not that. But anyway, those are our championship Sunday picks. Caleb, I know you got to get out of here, so
That's right. Commanders and Chiefs.
Commanders and Chiefs. I got Commanders and Bills. It's the Super Bowl everybody in America wants. I think we're going to end up getting Eagles Chiefs, and I really hope I'm wrong because I cannot. Unless we get another Jalen Hurts Hail Mary attempt, then I'll love it.
Yeah. Look, man, the Eagles are the better team, no doubt. I just think that the Commanders are going to win because they're a team of destiny.
Hey, so here's the game plan. If the Eagles and Chiefs are the Super Bowl matchup, I'll get the ref's jersey. You get the Mahomes jersey.
All right.
Deal?
Good.
Deal. All right.
All right.
Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like, please subscribe, and until next time.
To be continued.